cells into neurons.
Now they're talking about genetic manipulation. Right? Now, this is the same thing Hitler was trying to do to the Jews because they're the inferior race, right? It's bad, scientists! Why don't you get that? Something messed up our reproductive act in the first place, and then you think science can come along and correct it. It can't, right? It's going to make it worse, right? Because the thing about superiority or inferiority is the superiority people want to rule over the inferior people, right? Sometimes with iron fist, right? That's the problem. No morals. No one cares. Like idiot keeps saying, no one cares, no one cares. I know, that's the problem. You replace science without knowledge of ethics. Can you do all this crap? Yeah. But something also wants you to create a superior human being. That's the bad side, right? You were fine how you were made, right? Until the creature you weren't supposed to do it with, you did it with. Right? You understand? It is something sexual that messed us up, right? You know that part, right? But it was with the wrong species, or whatever the hell you want to call it, right? That messed us up, right? And that's our choice and our fault, right? But it's not, again, correctable by just science alone, right? Or you're doing the same thing Orwell talked about, or Hitler was trying to do, right? Why was it bad then but not bad now? Science? No, it's just as bad for Hitler to do it as it is for you to do it today, right? Wrong is wrong and right is right. If something messed up your DNA, you can't suddenly create, right, a superior human being, because that superior human being is going to think you're inferior to him. And like with the Nazi party, he's going to want to snuff you out, right? It's competition, survival of the fittest too, ain't it, scientists, right? Well, any human who's not made like that, right, is inferior automatically. And his morals and ethics. And now you're trying to do the island of Dr. Monroe, right, with human beings. And the reproductive process. You want to do it all in a lab, like with Barbarella with Jane Fonda. Yes, you do. No longer sex makes the baby. We're going to do it in the lab for you, right? That removes the choice of who you can mate with. So no. That's why it's bad, right? Don't you understand what we're telling you? You're thinking too scientifically about it, right? And if I survive the wreck in a 3-story fall, I know my God helped me out. There's a real God too, and that's your problem too, right? It knows the good and bad you're doing, right, the whole time, right? It knows the devil showed you this probably after Eden, right? You again aren't getting who the gods are. The fallen gods and the true gods who are still in heaven, right, aren't the same beings, right? One is looking out for you and one ain't, right? One is lying to you and telling you a half-truth, right? One ain't, right? One is trying to tell you the whole truth, but you gotta mix through the lie first and figure it out, right? It's again like at the labyrinth. One of them always lies, and one of them always is telling the truth. Now, the problem is, right, you gotta figure out the truth from the lie. Right. And if you go down or up, okay, and they gave you a choice with the helping hands in the movie, right? That's the whole point. You're trying to make your world a fictional book. Now, the same is true with the Bible, right? It too can be fictional or factual, right? They found proof and evidence that some of it is real, right? There was a King David, there was a Moses somewhere. There was an Israel mentioned by Egypt, right? So someone's lying a little here, a little there about it, and someone's telling the truth a little here, a little there, right? That's the problem too, right? And even the prophets are seeing what the people are doing and know that it's wrong, right? But you don't want to listen to us until after you fuck up. Worse. The prophet don't want to be the prophet. He just understands what you won't understand while you're playing dumbass Neanderthal nitwit. Excuse my French there. And Cro-Magnon may have mated with Neanderthal and his genes are now in our genes, and that could be the fruit of the body of the Neanderthal that we weren't supposed to eat up. Don't sugarcoat what it is, right? There was something we weren't supposed to do, we did it and eat. And Neanderthal would have butt sex with Adam, for example, right? Whereas Adam and Eve would have just straight sex, right? It then becomes a choice, right? Like I'm telling you, right? The knowledge of good and evil is what you did with the Neanderthal was wrong, right? And not right, right? And you condemned yourself for it, and you died with the Neanderthal. He went extinct, right? Well, now you're dying with the Neanderthal who went extinct, right? If you understand the scientific meaning behind all that. Damn. Now the Anunnaki again.
In the biblical tradition, there is a tree of life. There is something that you can ingest and gain immortality.
Or ambrosia.
This quest has been going on for thousands of years.
Right. Or the spirit in your body can prolong your life, right? See, you're looking for an elixir, something outside your body, when it's what's inside your body that gives you life in the first place. Like Jesus is showing you, religion is more important than you think, scientists, right? If you can heal through the spirit and belief in the word of your mouth, right? Like Jesus did, right? And ask them, what would you that I do for you? And they say, Lord, that I receive my sight. And they receive their sight when Jesus agreed with them. That's 2 or 3 agreeing together, right? And it happening, right? That's why Jesus said, if 2 or 3 of you shall agree as touching anything, it shall be, right? Right. And the scientists are doing it in their own realm, Christians. And we're not saying nothing, right? Or they don't want to listen either, right? That's the problem too, right? Now, when you want to murder someone, you're murdering yourself, even if you think you're superior or inferior, because the idea of murdering doesn't come from a maker, but a destroyer, right? Now, if the maker and destroyer Hindus are the same being, he's mentally ill, right? But if it's 2 different beings, all right, one went mentally ill while one is still sane, right? You understand? Right. If you got a hierarchy and say there are 3 at the beginning, right, who are all the same, right? And then you got Adam made, right? Okay. As one, and then 2, right? One of the 3 did evil with Adam and Eve, right? The other one didn't, right? Do evil with Adam and Eve, right? He's called the tree of life. It's a metaphor, right? What he did was not wrong, and God spared his life, even if he was slain before the foundation of the world. Do you know what that means, right? If there's a tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, both in the garden, and you're told not to eat of the fruit of the body of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that's what it means. Just as you're not to eat of a fruit tree, if that was what it meant, right? It also means the body of Neanderthal nitwit. Like they're supposed to now happen, right? Because he would teach you the knowledge of good and evil. She did it with him, right? And his wife, See, there's 2, right? There's a couple. There's a pairing, right? Even in Eden before the fall. There's the male and his female as they went onto the ark. As they went, right? And it's the dumb mind, right, that messed up Cro-Magnon's mind, right? If you understand the scientific reference there, right? When they reproduced with each other. They were close enough to reproduce, right? That's why I warned you, don't eat of its fruit, right? It will mess up your mind, which is the beginning of wisdom and logic and understanding, right? But if your mind is messed up and set on murder and judgment and condemnation, you're already lost, right? You're already doing bad things to each other, right? In the name of science, in the name of religion, in the name of God. You murder each other for slight differences in belief. That's not God either, right? God is merciful forever, not condemning every little thing you do, right? And it designed us to reproduce, and Neanderthal nitwit. But now Neanderthal nitwit is part of our genes, right? Okay, Neanderthal nitwit. If you're acting more brutish, you're Neanderthal. If you're acting more smarter and using your head, you're Cro-Magnon, right? To put it in scientific terms, right? But if both are acting, that's a hybrid, right? A hybrid has Neanderthal traits and Cro-Magnon traits, right? Right? You're 50-50. You're the tree of the knowledge of good and evil still. Hello? Do you get it? Right. It never said anything but don't eat of the tree's fruit, for in the day you eat of it, you shall surely die. Now, then you got Eve talking to the serpent, but her command sounds different than what Adam was told, and she wasn't made till after he named the animals, right? But was told before he named the animals. That's how the story lines up, idiot. Right? Yeah. Yeah, that means something. Now, in Isaiah 34, they're talking about Lilith. It's where she's first mentioned, but they also talk about the night owl, the screech owl, and her offspring, right? She too is a representation, the night owl, the screech owl, right? Because you go, you ever heard those crazy birds? Hell, I can't do it right now, but it's worse than Eon the Terrible. Eon the Terrible! Something like that. Right. But really, those damn screech owls will scare the hell out of you in the middle of the night. What the fuck is that? Like in, you know, the movie, Cousin Vinny. Yeah, that's it. That's a screech owl. That's a screech owl. That's what Lilith, Satan's female side, is compared to. But they were all in Eden, right? Either one or two. You understand, right? Do you see what I mean? From one came two, right? And it's either the male or the female Neanderthal nitwit who wanted to mate with Adam and Eve too, right? But that union messed up our minds, our understanding of things, and dumbed us down even, right? You're not wrong, right? But the way you want to correct it is through genetic manipulation, right? It's done happen, right? Now, what heals all wounds? Time. But you're rushing into it again, right? The same as they did after the fall. You see all their technological advances as male and female demons, right? But a demon ain't looking out for you but itself, right? A demon will take all the women it wants, right? And not leave you with any, right? That's demonic too, right? I'm just trying to find a woman to be my wife, which you're interfering with, right? A 15-year-old girl shouldn't tell a grown man she's 37 because he don't know. She's not even supposed to be working in the store. And if she is, she's supposed to tell him she's 15. That wouldn't be a problem. She could be on an apprenticeship program at 15. I never said she couldn't be, did I? No. But if she's lying about it, she must feel like she herself was too young to do the job, right? And when I went into the store, she couldn't handle the pressure. Both seduced me and blacked me out, like I told you, right? Because she couldn't deal with it all. The temptation and the knowledge that you can have sex with a child without certain things being told to you about the person you're with, right? See, if she says she's 37, I have no reason to question that, right? I had women come on to me before of age, right? Right? I told you that, right? Now, I didn't check their ID, right? But they were working in a job where they gotta be a certain age to do that job. Like I said, it's as simple as that, I know. Now, if you're lying to me about it, right, and you black me out over it, that's twice you did something wrong, right? The only thing I did wrong was I didn't know you were the one that was being talked to me about it, right? How's that my fault, right? It's not, right? I'm not intentionally trying to sleep with a 15-year-old. But if she thought it was about her, who told her it was about her? Because I don't know her. And she's 15 and I've been on YouTube for 15 years. I've been on the damn thing before she was even born, right? You know what I mean? Right. So I'm not even after her. He named her Michelle, her father, right? Not me. And I was with a Michelle in the 90s. In 96. And if she was 15 in 2019, that's 4 years after even Chinatown opened up, right? With their Michelle. Though I was more interested in what the hell Kelly was up to. But I also could be with any of the other waitresses if they like me too, right? The thing is, I don't think I slept with any of them, you know what I mean, right? I'm not trying to have sex with them and leave them, right? But if I did, someone else or they themselves blacked me out, right? See what I mean, right? And that's all I know about it, too, that I went out to the restaurant, but not that I did anything wrong, right? I do know, though, you can have premarital sex in the Bible if your goal is to marry the person, but the person also has to really want to marry you, right? That's called unequally yoked together with an unbeliever, right? But also, Paul said, if the unbeliever depart, let them depart. See, that's the problem too, right? If you're married to an unbeliever and they don't want to stay in the relationship, you got to let them go too, right? If you don't believe the same thing, right? Or she thinks she does 1 minute and then she changes her mind the next, like the Comcast girl, maybe, right? Maybe I talked her into it, but then she got upset at the end and knocked me out and then ran out and got dressed, right? But it's also too late to black me out, right? If we done did the sex act, right? Too, right? Unless it was as advertised. And I know it was. And I know it was. Like I said, right? How do I know, right? The same amount of time I lost with you is the same amount of time it would take to explain it and have sex, right? I've done it before. It's not my first time, right? Even if it was hers, and that's why she freaked out. I don't know. But the problem is, again, she overreacted at the end, got dressed, tried to get out, and all that, right? Too late, right? She done let me convince her, right, to do it, right? And then after we did it, she tried to black me out, right? But that's why I remember parts of it, like with the other girl. But she's lying about her age too, right? Or something's off, right? And I'm just joking with both girls, right? I'm not seriously trying to sleep with them. But if it happened 3 times with her and once with this Comcast girl, right? Because I lost about 20 minutes or an hour, right? And then when I come to, I'm missing the movie, right? Now, the thing about Halloween ends, right? Is it over a 2-hour movie? It seemed like it because I got there around noon. I didn't get out till almost 3. Is that how long it was supposed to last? I don't know. Right. Because when I'm on the way home, it's almost 3 o'clock. Right. I'm in the movie, right, watching the movie. And I only remember watching the movie, right. Now, unless the ladies, right, are coming in, right, during the movie and talking to me, right, and I asked the dude in the back if he wouldn't mind if I go talk to them and start the movie from where we left off, right, or something, right, and then that's the part I blacked out with then, right, you see what I mean, right, and we went and talked about something and then came back, right, and then he started from there. Now, where am I blacked out if I'm blacked out? And he would be a witness of how I was blacked out, right? So would the females, right? Only I don't know what, I thought I was just watching the whole movie from beginning to end, right? So it started getting a little long. They're usually an hour and 40 something minutes, right? To maybe 2 hours, right? But if it don't start till around, say, 12:30, right, with the previews, right, after that's still, like I said, right, about 12:45 when it'll start, right? So it's not impossible, like I told you there, that I watched the movie, right? What is the problem is when I miss the movie, right, and was an hour or so late, or 40 to 50 minutes late, right? That's double the time in the salon, right? Almost triple. But over double the time in the salon to just do my nails, right? And I don't remember anything but doing the nails with the girl. Same with the Comcast girl. I didn't know it would be a female, but unless I got, excited about it being a female and went into porno mode or something, that could be why I forgot. I talked her into it, but then she changed her mind after. There was a stick there. She knocked me out, and I came to like I told her I would and caught her before she left, but then she's busted, right? See, talking about sex ain't a crime, like I keep telling you. But knocking me out after the sex is. That's Black Widow, baby. Black Widow, baby. Yeah. And you're not supposed to do that either. Either you can have the sex or you can't, right? I also would know she has other jobs to do, not just my little TV there, right? But that's why she was there, to fix it, right? And see, I can be entertaining too when you first meet me, right? I can be a charmer, right? But I'm not charming you, right, to make you do something wrong. I'm charming you because we can really do it, right? And I intended to fulfill my vow, right? But you also, then if you attack me, became the unbeliever, right? And departed, right? Though I caught you before you left the subdivision, like I told you I would too, before you go down, turn around, and come back. I'll be resurrected if you would do something like that, right? Because I know me, right? And see, talking about it, I'm not really blacked out. Right. You really have to have the sex and then black me out after the sex, right? Even with the Comcast girl, right? So that's still another miracle, like Paul was beaten a few times, right? And stoned, right? Wow. The man got up several times, right? Even that being done to him, right? Well, Jesus and God raising him from the dead, right? Probably. Those cat o' nine tails, I think that happened to him 5 times, that he was stoned a couple times, right? And they're trying to stone you to death. You think they just knocked him out? What about Stephen then, right? They also stoned Stephen, right? Who proclaimed the Lord to them, right? But see, they're not telling you everything then, right? When you leave out any details, right, you're lying, right, about what really happened, right? Especially if you write it down, and that's what we're supposed to follow you after you leave or die, right? Now, a normal lifespan's 120 years, though Jesus said that be some steady here shall not taste of death till all's fulfilled, right? But you don't know when, right? And if it takes pushing a button, is God pushing the button or man? I mean, so if the man is the one who can push the button to start World War III, it's the man who's pushing the button who will go down in infamy, you know what I mean, infamy, right, as the guy who started World War III. If that's Putin, that's Putin, I don't know, right? But he gotta actually push the button, okay, and until he does, right, he's handling it militarily, right, without involving needs, right. Two. But once he pushes that button, right, we either got to deal with that aftermath, right, of the woodworm it creates, or Chernobyl, which is attacking Ukraine now, and they already got a Chernobyl nuclear power plant that, again, can fuck them up, right? And nobody's really dealing with Ukraine either, right? No, you're not. No. You're not really helping them nor hurting them. You know what I mean? You're trying to give a military aid packet, but, right, you're making them do it by themselves, too. That's called passive aggressive. What does that mean? 50-50. Lukewarmly, you're helping them out, right? What did Jesus say about the lukewarm people? They'll be spewed out of his mouth. Be hot or cold. Right. Okay, to a point, right? Or you're being lukewarm, right? That's the problem too, right? Like I told you, what's below 30? Cold. What's 40 to 60? Lukewarm. You hear the halt there? I thought about it myself. Lukewarm. And then 60 to 100 is what? Hot, getting hot in here. I took off some of my clothes. Not all. Yeah. I do that when I go to sleep. But I talked to Jordan last night, some girl. And I give them all my info. I know you do. Because, see, I'm not trying to seduce them, right? Or lie to them, or trick them, right? Anyone who talks to me, I tell you who I am and what I'm looking for. Is a wife, is a wife. Even a one-night stand is a wife for one night. Ask Jesus. So he was around her for 2 nights, right? The night Chicago died, just singing the song about Chicago died. But yet, we're all dying, right? Not just Chicago, right? We're living, loving, she's just a woman. And both ways, right? Women are loving women, women are loving men, men are loving women, right? Men are loving men, right? And the circle goes on, right? The vicious cycle of it, though, right? The violence, I keep telling you, is the problem. You want to fight over it. You want to each other up over it. Again, here's what Jesus is saying. Let the gay be gay and the straight be straight. That to either be gay or straight. Not bi. Make up your mind, in other words. Either be a man or be transgender and try to be a woman. But admit you were born a man trying to be a woman. Right. That's the truth, baby. Get it? You were born a man. You think your sperm should have been female egg, right? Not the male sperm, right? And you want to look and think you look more like a woman than a man, right? I understand, right? What you're doing, right? And why? And that you think you should have been born a woman. I can't tell you you're right. I can't tell you you're wrong, right? Because Christ can be all three, right? He can metamorph, right? They didn't even recognize him for several reasons now, right? One, he's beaten, right? Two, right? He's healing, right? And three, when they see him, he disappears, kind of like the Beetlejuice, right? Think about it. I told you this before, right? Could they not handle seeing him, right? Alive. And shut him out their mind when they realized it was Jesus? I know. And he disappeared, right? It's impossible for God to raise him from the dead in their mind, right? He can't raise no one from the dead, though he did. Through Jesus, up to Lazarus, right? 3 people, the girl, the boy, and Lazarus, was raised from the dead, right? 2 children and a man, right? That we know of, that they wrote down, right? And then after that, Peter raised Dorcas, and then the boy who fell from the 3-story window. Like I did, like you did. Again. If you black me out, you tried to murder me, right? Attempted murder is attempted murder if you black me out, right? That's a felony. Attempted murder. There's no reason to attack me for trying to get in through the window. No, there ain't. No. If I got down off the roof and I had to jump down off the roof, then I got down off the roof, right? Well, I'm telling you. If I jumped from the window, or I lowered myself down and jumped from there, or right, went all the way to the ground and jumped from the first window, right? I had options to get down again, right? Even swinging back up to the roof and going back how I got back down, right? All that involves jumping from the roof. By the way, 4 ways. A ninja knows 4 ways to get down, right? And the quickest is kind of fiery, right? You jump. The wind might be you swing up, right, to the roof and then jump on the other side, right? Get down, right? Same way you got up. And the earth is going all the way to the ground, and then the water is going a little bit lower and then jumping, right? You know, you're going with the flow, right? You're going down anyway, so you just jump the rest of the way, right? So that's earth, wind, fire. And that's the concepts of the ninja, right? Fire, earth, wind, and water, right? And then void, right? Now there's something also missing, love. Which is the greatest power, right? But see, I don't know the Comcast girl. I don't know the girl was Michelle, the nail salon, right? And thinks it has to do with her, right? But she did. And so did the Comcast girl. I would have remembered the conversation. See, the conversation talking about sex ain't the problem, right? But her doing the sex and then repenting of it after the sex and blocking me out, that's the problem. That became attempted murder, right? She used a gun or a weapon or whatever, right? Hit me over the head or shot me in the eye, right? The right eye, right? And I healed like the Wolverine, right? All that was uncalled for, right? But if she did it anyway, I forgave her anyway, right? And no weapon formed against us shall prosper in the end. Not even the neutron bomb or nuclear weapons, but we still, if we unleash it, have to deal with the aftermath of all that. The woodworm and the Chernobyl, right? Effect, right? Even Russia can't attack Ukraine without messing up the land for themselves, right? Though it's where the power plant is. See, if they only want the pork, bear pulp, they got what they want, right? And your crane is trying to push them out, right? Again, right? I told you, covetousness, right, is Satan's favorite sin, right? He covets things, right? He can't have. Instead of covering, he covets now, right? And he fights evilly for the evil purpose of his own desires, right? And lust in his heart, right? See, desire alone or attraction alone ain't the problem between the male and the female, or even two men, or even two women, right? It's when it becomes controlling and manipulative, right? With any couple, right? If you start having problems in the relationship, right? And the person wants to break up with you, like even Ellen and Portia or whoever, right? Or, you know, Anne Hayes, right? Who passed away, whatever, I don't know. But anyway, right? When you break up with someone, it's either what? Good or bad, right or wrong, right or wrong. And it's either amicable, right? Or it's not, right? Now, the thing is, I live here. So if the girl was really 15 and made the move on me, she took advantage of who? Me. And the same with the Comcast girl, right? No, I understand I am a grown man, probably half-dressed again, right? From the waist down, right? If I let her in, I probably intimidated her a little bit into it, too, and she felt trapped, right? But she still would be given the option to say yes or no, like with, again, the Comcast girl, or the girl in the nail salon, right? See, once you say you're 37, once you start lying to me yourself, right? If I buy your lie, you're coveting something, right? Losing your virginity, say, right? But you're afraid of it, right? But yet you're not afraid of it to do it, right? You see what I mean, right? But when you did it, right, the regret came after the sex, like with the Comcast girl, right? You regretted the choice you made, right? But you also can't undo the choice once you did it, right? And see, if you do it 3 times, like I suspect happened with the girl in the salon, and once, like with the Comcast girl, right? One was 20 minutes, one was an hour. So I can still tell time, right, where I'm at, even mentally ill, right? But then you're tempting me, right? And you know I don't mean you, because I'm referring to other Michelles, right? The one I saw before I met you, the one at Chinatown, who I don't know I'm with either, right? And you, right? But she is old enough that she would have to get here how? By a cab, right? I don't even know where she lives, or you live, right? Or the Comcast girl lives, right? But they know where I live, right? See, that's the problem too, right? And once you black me out, that's attempted murder, right? So you're still mixing murder and sex, right? That's the problem in Eden too, right? People mix murder and sex. Either do something you can do or don't do it at all. That's the point, right? Either do it 100% or not at all, but 50-50, right, is the sin. It's all our jobs to help each other out. What I did to be healed is I forgave it and said Jesus could heal me, right? I know he can, right? I wouldn't have made it up to that point, honey, right? But if I did, right? But if I did, right? But if they did, right? I have still the temporary amnesia, right? If they didn't still, right? It's purely hypothetical, right? Like I told you, time loss matters, right? If it takes me, say, 10 minutes to eat a plate, and it's something I fix, right? The time to fix it and the time to eat it should be a certain amount of time, right? And it shouldn't go over that time unless I'm blacked out and something more happened, right? You understand what I mean, right? Now, of course, I like the waitress, but I'm not there to just eat the meal and eat her. Right. Which would be part of my flirting with her, right? But I'm also just flirting a little. You don't have to say yes, you don't have to say no. But if you say yes, there's only one place we can do it in a restaurant, bathroom. And if we do it in the bathroom and we come out and I sit back down to eat, right? Say it took, 2 to 5 minutes, right? Right. I don't know that part, right? But then I'm saying I'm making that part up too, because I don't know, right? And that's what I'm trying to explain to you too, though, right? I know something different happened with the nail salon girl and the Comcast girl, right? I'm not sure what's happening in the buffets, right? Because it's like 15 minutes. I don't know if that's too long or too short to eat food, right? And get it, right? But when I got there, it was a certain time, right? Say 19 after the hour. Right? Whatever, right? But when I left, it's almost 45 minutes later, right? Is that normal with a buffet and me eating there, or not normal, right? If I don't remember it, I can't say nothing happened, right? But if I do remember eating, right, it's called temporary amnesia if you black me out, right? But blacking me out is also what? Attempt to murder, right? You can't attempt to murder me if you don't really want the sex. You can say no, right? That's still lukewarm behavior, right? Now, I forgive you because I'm looking for a wife, right? What you're doing is you're having problems with your partner, right? And you're trying to involve me, right? Like I'm having problems with my partner, right? But either you or he blacked me out. That's the problem. Whoever did it, right? In the end, right? If you blacked me out or not, right? And that's why the meal went over 45 minutes, right? Right. Because I would lick you and he wouldn't, right? I know. And you ain't been having sex and you've been fighting, right? And you want some loving too, right? When you need a little love. Call me up, don't be shy. Right. And I'm a little shy, but if you let me know you want it. But see, it's going back to sit down, right? Anytime when I'm in the open, right? And before I sit back down, and see, if you go into the bathroom with me and I come out first, you got to get dressed, right? Again, no. It's easier for the males, right, in some certain circumstances, to have sex with the female in the bathroom, right? I know because I did it with Marybelle, like I said, right? Then vice versa, right? The female with the male, right? But it still involves a little undressing, a little coercing, right? A little flirting, right? And the choice to be made, right? That's the part I'm missing, right? And I don't cheat because, not simply I don't know, right? I don't know. I don't cheat because I'm trying to wait too, right? But then I can't say if I was with Jordan or if I was with Maria or anyone. No. All I know is like, if the car's there or not, or if someone's not acting kosher or not acting nice or not waving or talking or acting weird and I don't know why, right? See, that too is someone who could be dealing with amnesia, right? Or they can't say nothing because their boyfriend won't break up with them but threatens them, right? To harm them, right? And again, it's like sleeping with the enemy, right? he won't stop harassing her about it. She don't really want to do it, but then he won't let it go, right? No. But she won't have sex with him as long as he's arguing with her, right? So then she gets fed up with it and finally does it, right? And comes over to meet, right? Maybe. It's still hypothetical to me, right? But he or she would know, and he or she would have to black me out. Because again, I'm not talking about it, but I am. And I told her I wouldn't talk about it, but if I am talking about it, I'm guessing, right? Right. But he knows, right? So who's blacking me out, him or her? Probably him. But it's still attempted murder, right? It's a felony, right? Law. He's breaking, right? And it's cause he's using her to be a girlfriend to him. Cause what? He don't think he'll find another girl, right? You know what I mean, right? See, another reason they do that is there's other issues going on in their head, right? And the control is taught to the male. It's from a parental unit, probably either a mother or a father, who's stern with the man, right? And as he grows up, he becomes that way with his wife, right? He learned that behavior that way. He wasn't born that way, right? He was taught to act that way. And what he don't want to see is it's from a bad source, right? That's not how you really treat someone you love, right? And see, I'm even trying to help him understand the problem, right? See, that's why, like with the dude who was really helping Julia Roberts' character, right? You could tell he wasn't the problem, but when the husband finally found her again, right? Because you're going to mess up. She was so happy she tried to flush the ring, but a ring don't flush. She didn't know that, right? And if she hadn't tried to flush the ring, he wouldn't have found it in the toilet, and then he wouldn't figured out what she did, right? And again, then he found out she learned to swim, right. And see, that's him playing detective, right? But also still being a butt wipe, right? And still finding her and stalking her to her new home, right? And then the other guy's having to protect her, right? But then she's finally free of him too, right? Because he finally messed up and met someone who's standing up to him, right? And they don't like that either, but, right? I know. If you're trying to murder someone and you can't, that's the ultimate thing you can do to someone, right? That's going to really piss him off, but he can't kill the girl either because she could die and then he goes to jail and then he goes to prison, right? And the thing is, I'm not a violent person. I wouldn't hurt her either way. No. See, that's the point too, right? Now, he could also be so controlling that he don't even want me thinking of her or fantasizing of her, right? Which I try not to do because I know that, right? That's what I would tell Maria too. Well, I know not to think of you or things like that, but you're the next door neighbor, right? You're the girl next door, right? But at the same time, when you're owning her, right, not loving her, right, you're controlling and manipulating the relationship, and that goes to why Julia left the other man, right? Like, she can't leave him either, because he can still try to murder her, right? Even on my lawn or something, and try to make it seem like I tried to do it, right? See, that's the problem too, right? Unless the guy, like I told you, would raise her from the dead too, right? If we're both doing the right thing, right? So you can raise her too, right? Just like the girl and the boy as well. But then she might have amnesia of what's going on too. That's what I mean, right? But I don't know. It's a theory, right? And you can't prove a theory, right? Only two people should know that, right? Her and Matt, right? I don't know. See, to me, it's a fantasy, right? That I'm not supposed to act on, so I try not to act on it, right? I'm still kind of looking for a girlfriend, but can't really find one, right? But don't know why, But you can't tempt a girl by accusing me of liking her when I'm single and I can like any girl, right? Liking ain't the problem, right? It's when you focus on someone I'm not focusing on, right? You act like I could like her, and I'm not saying I couldn't, right? But I'm saying I don't know her either, but yet you're teaching her to not to worry about it, right? Not, if we do something, we do something. If we don't, we don't, right? That's what I'm saying, right? But if I do something, I'm trying to treat you right, not wrong, right? They're thinking evil of it, right? Not me or you, right? And I, again, don't blame you for that, but, right, you can't do it either until you're the age of consent, right? Which is what I keep saying, too. I don't try to sleep with 15-year-old girls, right? Not even 16-year-olds, because that sounds like you get me in trouble, but I ask, right? You're supposed to tell, right? That part. Now, in the Navy, when they said don't ask, don't tell, right? Who do you think they're speaking to? My shipmates. Don't ask. He said no, right? Quit asking. He said no. He said no. But you got witnesses. And I'm saying no. And I'm saying no. But even when the second class petty officer, Locklear, or Lockheed, or whatever his name was, right? He's telling me about the problem with his girlfriend, right? But I'm understanding, but I understand why he still loves her and might fight for her, right? And that's not wrong to me, right? But she's having relationships problems with her man too, right? See, that's like the woman at the well. See, I recognize things other Christians don't want to see because Jesus was with her for 2 days. That's a 2-night stand. Not a 1-night stand. And don't think he's not doing hanky-panky with her if she's not been with 6 men, right? And one she's living with, right? He did her too. But they didn't write it out. Why? Why didn't he condemn the woman either? Did he commit adultery against her too? She was his wife. And why? It fulfills scripture. 7 women in Isaiah 4 shall take hold of 1 man, of 1 man. And the 7 churches, right, might be where the women went to get away from their persecution of having Christ's daughters, right? Everything that. And only daughters aren't mentioned by name sometimes, right? Not the son, right? Now, if he had a son, who would it be with? Mary Magdalene? Right. She's the last female he has contact with before and after the resurrection. And this will really blow your mind. What if he got her pregnant after the resurrection? That means he had sex. Damn. After the resurrection. Now, if you have a baby with Mary Magdalene after the resurrection, right? You're when they resurrect the baby. Get it? Get it? But Jesus ain't hiding nothing. We're hiding the truth, right? The disciples hid the truth, right? They couldn't tell it all. But sex ain't the problem. Satan is trying to make it the problem. Gay or straight sex, right? Now, he taught you both, probably. You know what I mean? At the same time, right? Without a baby, right? It's not about choosing one or the other either, right? It's how you act around each other after, right, you determine you're gay or straight. See, I can be friends with a gay person. I'm just not gonna have sex with you, right? And vice versa. You can be friends with me, but you know I'm not gonna have sex with you because I'm straight, right? No problem, right? Right. We're agreeing that you feel gay, right? And I feel straight, and we go our own way. You can go your own way. Go your own way. Right? What's his name again? I forgot it. Lindsay, right? Buckingham. That's it. That's it. I have to ask a question. But you can't, right? But you can go your way in peace or war, which you think is God, and which you think is the devil, or. But by now, we're all in peace and war, right? We're all dealing with Ukraine and Russia, right? Because Russia's the aggressor. They're the war-mongering nation, right there, right? They're wanting the port of Mariupol. I'm telling you why. I don't know. Covetousness, money, power, privilege, right? That port brings, right? Along them. And I'm not running the country. I can't do squat, right? I am making suggestions like the prophets of